Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Gorgeous Goddesses Don't Gatekeep. On today's episode, we're doing a little color me this, color me that. Today's tutorial is going to talk about how to create colored hotkey toggles. Pretty cool, right? And way easier than it used to be. In the old version of VTube Studio, you were not able to change your model's color or anything about your model unless those layers had been pre-drawn and rigged along with the initial model by your art parent and your rig parent. However, with newer updates to VTube Studio, what you can now do is change colors for individual layers. I'm going to show you how to not only do that for your model, but items as well, and how to turn them into hotkey toggles. Let's get started. For this, of course, we're going to need VTube Studio. Wow, let's look at that. I'm going to show you how to create a recolor toggle similar to this one, where you take your entire model and many different layers on your model, and you painstakingly go through each and every one of them to recolor them until you have something you like. This look was achieved as part of a Halloween recoloring, and there might be many reasons you want to recolor your model, or, more specifically, items. There are lots of different types of items you can attach to your model, and I have one such item here. And the same principle is going to work. Let's look for the Egyptian Body Dance by Moshi Studio. Wow, look! It's a dancing body. Ooh. Now this model didn't come looking like that. I recolored the model, and the purpose of being able to recolor it is so that I can match my own skin tone with these pieces, which is what I ended up doing, and to change the colors of different parts of it so that you can wear these different rigged body parts and they look like they're on your model. But we can still see your body. It doesn't really look like the piece works to attach to you. The same tools and techniques I'm going to teach you for recoloring your body also work to make parts of your model invisible. So let's get started. I'm going to move to the left by the charms menu right here. And what we're going to start with is we're going to hit the settings button. We're then going to go up here to model settings, the third tab. And under model settings, we're going to go to customize model. Here, we're going to click on customize and multiply the screen color for your art meshes. Now, once all of the meshes for your model has loaded, do note this fact. Many artists don't want their art to be modified. It can be considered rude to do so. Make sure that you have permission from your art parent or complete commercial control of your model to make these changes. Your model artist did an amazing job creating you. We do not disrespect artists in this house. Have permission. So here, you're going to see a list of every single art mesh on your model. And if you know what all of the different parts you're looking for are called, you can just go through the menu and select them. But if you're like Dee and you're just looking to change your outfit or your skin that you're wearing, I can move my mouse over any part of the outfit. And let's say I want to change the color of this dress to be, what color should I make it? I'm going to change my outfit to red for the purpose of this tutorial. I'm going to click on roughly the area that I want to change the color of on my model. And you'll notice that the art mesh screen, this list right here, has now changed. It is showing you approximately which meshes exist where you clicked your mouse. I'm going to say that again. When you click somewhere on your model, the mesh list is going to change to show approximately what meshes exist near where you clicked on your model. To find out exactly what mesh is which, we're going to click this little eyeball. The eyeball will flash the part of your model that you can then interact with to show you which one is which. So this one is 99 on my model, and 100 is this little shadow lip. Can you see that? If I zoom in, you can see it flashing a little bit better. So I'm going to change the color of my outfit. We're going to click the toggle to turn on the ability to adjust that layer, and we're going to start playing with it here. You can use hex codes to change the color, so if you have a specific color you really like, you can use the hex code to change it exactly, but I don't, so I'm going to use the sliders instead. And I think I want to go for more of a purpley red because I feel like that's a little more me than a pure dark red. How about this? Isn't that a pretty color? Ooh. I do look good as a winter with all of these nice royal colors. So let's get this deeper purpley hue. That feels pretty. And I am going to hit OK, and I'm going to hit OK on this next screen. I do want to point out before I do that this is the screen color. Normally set to black, you can change the screen color to make a brighter or darker version of the color that you are using. I'm going to set it to black. Now, I'm going to go and do the same thing to the other parts of the outfit. I'm going to click approximately where that piece lives, hit the eyeballs to try make the part I'm looking for flash until I find the right mesh, hit the toggle, and now I already have this color saved in the background. I'm going to use this button down here that says paste last multiply color. I'm hitting the button, bam! Now we have the same color, and I don't have to do that work. But wait! What if I click on another mesh and I decide I don't change the color, or I change it to something I don't like and I go, wait a minute, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. I've lost the color that I just used. It's okay, we can get that color back. I want you to click again on one of the colored items that you already recolored, that's a color you like, and you're just gonna hit OK and OK. That will resave the same color to your clipboard. No worries. Let's speed up. We're gonna go through and we're gonna quickly change the color of all the pieces that we like. Last thing I want to change is the inner dress. There we go. Beautiful. And now I've got this lovely red color. So what if there was another part to this outfit that I wanted to change? Let's look at one more thing that you can do aside from changing the color of things. What if I wanted to make something disappear? Let's talk about the alpha layer. I don't want this bell to be here. I'm going to remove the bell for this part of my outfit. So I am going to turn on that toggle, and let's look at the A in this RGB color slider thing, whatever we call this. This is the alpha layer. The alpha is what determines opacity. When alpha is turned all the way up, you can see a solid color. If I were to start turning this down, I want you to look at what happens to the bell. The bell is going to fade away and eventually disappear out of existence. Now the bell's layer still exists. I could put another item right here and it would swing and move just the way the bell did because it's attached to that bell layer, but it doesn't look like it is. So you can get real creative with this stuff all on your own. That's what the alpha layer does. I think I want to change the color just a little bit to match. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a red screen color instead of a red multiply. And look what happens. Ooh, it's kind of fun. This is like a hot pinky colored leather is what it ends up looking like. Just like when you steal my hair, don't steal my hair. But yes, the bald toggle is a different version of what we're talking about here. So the bald toggle is usually done by your rigger as a toggle where they move your hair off. But if you don't have a bald toggle, you can use the alpha layers to create one on your own. You would just go individually through every single piece of hair and you would have to turn on the alpha layer, like so. I would click on a piece of hair, make sure by using the eyeball that I'm actually selecting hair, and I would turn the alpha off. Oh my God, I'm missing hair! And you would have to do that for every single layer. Yes, it's a pain in the butt. One last thing I think I will change for my model is I am going to give myself a little bit darker lipstick because I think this needs a little bit more color, especially for the outfit right here. Just a little bit of darkness. I'm gonna make it like a purpley pink color. Yeah. I think that's pretty, and I feel like that goes well together. I could also give myself more like really dark eyeliner if I wanted to. I could take my eyeliner and I could make it black, or I could make it sort of this purpley mauve color. I'm gonna do the same to the other eye. I just have to find the right layer. What you're seeing is me looking back and forth between the layer list and to make sure the right part is flashing the way I want it to. So something like that. Just a small shift in the layer colors to make it look like I'm wearing a bit more makeup. I mentioned that you can use the same color changing on items that you can for yourself. Let me go show you how that works. Double clicking anywhere to open the charms menu, I'm going to grab an item. Let's say I wanted to use one of the new live 2D items. I happen to have lots of different live 2D items. Some of them are original that come with VTube Studio. Some are created by other folks like the 7MC store or Majo Hope, and I used for different overlays and different scenes way back when. But let's say I wanted to use Ooh, let's do this arm. I am going to take this arm and I am going to make it nice and big, and I'm going to pin it to the crook of my elbow where my arm would normally be attached to my body. If I set myself on scene, I can make it look like I'm using this phone and my sleeve is just fallen back. But the color of the skin isn't really the same color as me. So I'm going to click and hold the item, and in this new menu, what I'm going to be able to do is scroll down and I can go to Set Art Mesh Color Tint. Now we're going to see a familiar menu, just like what we did with our models. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on what I believe to be the arm. I'm going to find the hand and the arm. It looks like I tried to recolor it close to my skin tone, but what you would do is you'd click here. I'm going to open an art program in the background. The art program I'm choosing to use is Clip Studio Paint, and I'm only using it for one purpose, the eyedropper tool. I'm going to use my eyedropper tool to select my own skin color, and I'm going to choose the pale color between the highlights on my bosom and the collarbone. I'm then going to grab that hex code, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, with that hex code, come back here to VTube Studio, and I'm going to enter the exact hex code. Using the multiply color and the multiply color only, you can get a much more accurate depiction of the skin tone you're trying to replicate. So I'm going to click on layers and change the multiply layer and only the multiply layer. And I can do that for the whole hand to get the exact color that I grabbed from my model, and this is the actual color. Now let's say I don't like this color, or I want it to be a little bit lighter. I can drag and I can change this color manually, or again I can go to the screen layer and I can just lighten that up ever so slightly. I feel like that's a little bit more accurate. There we go. Then I would click on all of the fingers and I would change them to match so that all pieces on my hand or for this item match what I want them to be. So now if I wanted to change the color of the phone itself, I could adjust that color by changing the multiply color and the screen color. I could change the highlight on the top. What if I want to give it like a little golden sheen? There we go. Gold purple. There we go. Adding the purple hue helps it blend together. And voila! Now I have recolored an item with the same technique that we used for recoloring a model. Back to the tutorial. So now we have done all of this beautiful work to recolor a model. We don't want to lose what we just created. Let's make the toggle. In order to create the toggle for this, we're going to go to the hotkey expression setting. Please ignore the fact that I have like a bazillion toggles, don't look. We're going to hit the plus sign at the very bottom, and we're going to create a new toggle. The hotkey action is going to be an art color preset. I started typing in the word color, and it'll go right to the art mesh color preset. So you're going to choose art mesh color preset and immediately hit record settings. Now you've basically saved your work, which is nice. Now, let's give it a toggle. I'm going to choose, how about this and that? There we go. So what I did was I hit the record button, and then I pressed 2 keys to record my hotkey setting. Now, we can take this lovely outfit, and I can hit the hotkeys that I've just set up, and watch. It'll turn it... Oh no, wrong button. On and off. We can now turn this on and off using a hotkey. Let's go! But now, what if I wanted the audience to be able to turn this on? That's something completely different. We're gonna pop to a new program just for that. In order to turn this into a toggle or a hotkey that your audience can trigger, once you've made the actual hotkey in the hotkey list, you can then take that hotkey and remove your toggles. I'm gonna say that again, okay? Remove your toggles if you want your audience to trigger it so you don't hit that button accidentally, okay? For this, we're going to need a different program. We're going to need MixItUp. Right now, you're seeing a list of all of my Twitch channel point redeems, and there's quite a few of them. I'm going to create a totally new channel point reward, or you can go into your dashboard for Twitch and you can create a new reward there. Thank you for the cookie. And then add it to an existing reward. I'm gonna create a new channel point right here, and I'm gonna call it Date Night Dress Up D. The channel point reward has now been created. Hooray! Now that it's been created, I'm gonna go into this new redeem and we're going to make it work. I'm going to edit the command. That will pop out a brand new window, which is the command editor window for MixItUp. This will work with MixItUp. This will work with a Sammy utility. This will work with Streamer Bot. They all just have different mechanisms. And I find that for beginners, MixItUp is the easiest to learn because they do have the most user-friendly interface. That does not mean that their user-friendly interface is the most user-friendly or that it's the best interface, but hey, we get what we get. And unless I decide to make a better application, I'm not going to complain about it. So all I want this to do is I want it to play a sound effect, and then what I want it to do is I want it to change my model. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I am only going to add the hotkey toggle. If I wanted to do sound effect, I'm going to type in sound and hit enter. While I'm searching in the list, I could add a sound effect, but I'm not going to do that. I'm typing in VTube and hitting the plus sign. We are adding a VTube Studio toggle. MixItUp is already connected to VTube Studio, which allows us to do this. We're going to run a hotkey, and the model is going to be my debut model. That's what Neo named this model, and that is what it is forevermore. And the hotkey is going to be the one that we just created. So that's going to be date night. Other settings that I want for this lovely hotkey I could add in here. Like you could add turning on and off a layer in OBS. You could add a sound effect. You can add a wait command so that people cannot spam the command within the command itself. And it gives your computer just a few moments to breathe. So I like to add a 1 second wait at the end of most of my redeems. Then what we're going to do is save it. But before we do, I want you to notice this little toggle in the corner. It's called unlock command. If you unlock the command, what this is going to mean is it will work when all other redeems are going off. If you unlock all of your commands, this could be pure and total chaos. So keep that in mind. I like to keep some of these locked for the safety and sanity of my PC. And now I'm going to save it. So now what will happen is anytime people trigger this redeem, and I'm going to manually trigger it here, it will change my outfit. Yay! But Dee, what if I wanted this toggle to work all on its own and I wanted it to turn itself off, so they had to turn it on? Let's add one more thing in VTube Studio so that your toggles will turn themselves off without any addition for that command. So in VTube Studio, we're going to go right back to the hotkey menu and the one that we've already created. I want you to notice a few things on the actual hotkey setting. We can tell it to fade in and fade out, and if this were an item scene, like what I've got right here, you could actually tell it to stop showing the item after a few seconds. We can't do this with art recolorings, but you can do this with item scenes. So if you've created a toggle and a trigger that turns an outfit on for your model, you can use the stop after setting to turn that off automatically. But this leaves us with a dilemma for things like recoloring your body. You are going to have to add some additional settings to turn on and off recoloring of your model in your bot of choice. Let's go do that. We're gonna go back to MixItUp, back in the command editor. So for color changing options, they need an additional wait. I would do at least 30 seconds so people can admire the lovely outfit for a while, or if you want it just a short, quick bloop, and it'll be a small point grab for your community, maybe 10 to 20 seconds. Then after those 10 to 20 seconds, we're just going to hit this button right here to duplicate that hotkey. This will run the hotkey again. So if I play this button, it turns it on, it'll wait, and then it will turn it off by running the same command. That's how that's gonna work. So now we've got that. I'm gonna add one more wait, but this one's just an extra 1 second to allow the break for my machine. I'm going to save this, and now let's test the command. This is what it's going to look like when that command is run. I'm hitting the test button. Wow, beautiful new outfit color, and you can add sound effects to this and anything else you might like. Give it approximately 10 seconds as we have added the wait time for 10 seconds, and look, it turns off all by itself. Proof that the way we set it up works. Always test them before you set them free into the wild. This has been another episode of Gorgeous Goddesses Don't Gatekeep. I hope that this tutorial was helpful to you, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Okay, bye!